Hello, we made it. Day 6. You've gotten through all 5 days. Maybe you did it all in one day. I don't know, but probably not. I'm so excited that we're here and you're finally going to have a system and a really good start with all of your centers so that you can do what you need to do, which is relax, focus on making connections with the children, listening to their stories, and knowing that they're going to be on task while you are working with your small groups and listening to all those little ones read. And I just know that they're going to be on task and you're not going to have to worry about this the whole rest of the year. You're going to have a whole system set up for yourself so that you know what you're doing and you just don't have to think so much about it. The most that you have to think about is what are the words in the next pattern. And the hardest, I would say, is putting those groups together that of things that get mixed up, like I was talking about yesterday, which was like the CVC closed syllables with the magic E syllables. They often get mixed up: hop, hope, tack, take. So those are a little bit tricky for you as the teacher, but once you add those and include those to your games, you're going to have such an easy time helping those students, well, making sure your classroom is inclusive to everybody, not just the students who, you know, have an easy time with decoding skills and oral language. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm so happy we're here and you stuck it out. All right, so let's share the screen and here we go. Day 6. Today we're going to make crazy card games. So fun. And which are going to be a little bit different. And we're going to talk about what to do with early finishers and also the importance of reading decodable text versus trade books, how we handle that, and even leveled readers. Okay, and we're going to have some final notes as well. Okay, early finishers. What do we do with those students who just finish, they play their game quickly, they're done? We want to have some things set up so that they're not coming to you or they're not pushing or you know, bothering any other students. So what do we do? Well, one of the most fun activities that takes a bit of time because you have to write the words is to do spin it to win it. You can do spin it to win it by just simply placing a pencil down in the middle of you can find these wheel templates all over the internet and you just fill them in yourself with whatever words they're working on, spelling patterns they're working on. You flick the paper clip. I got this from Reading Teacher's Top 10 Tools. I just love Deb Glazer and everything she does. So if you get a chance to take the Reading Teacher's Top 10 Tools, that's a great professional development piece to help you learn more. Anyway, lots of people do this for years and years. And you flick I forgot all about it, flick the paper clip around, it lands on pad, and then you write pad. And then you flick it again, it lands on wrap. So then you write wrap. And then after 20 rolls or whatever, you see who won, map won. Pretty simple. Spoons activity, as I said, I love this activity. It's a terrific activity to do in small groups. But you could also have a bunch of spoons with just A, E, I, O, and U on them, and then different vowel patterns. I just wrote this on you could print it yourself with a marker, which I find quicker sometimes than trying to type it all out. You just write it and they just drag, right? Pat, bag, bat, jam, bap. Now they're reading nonsense words and you can talk to them about nonsense words and why we're reading that because you know, there are how that's going to help us read bigger words. Words in a Cup is one of my students' favorite games. I can't even believe how much they like this game. And I don't know why, because it's so simple. So all you do is fill a cup with, and you'll see up here, it says words in a bank cup, because that's what one of my students wanted me to write. So you just fill it up. So here you can see we're learning the floss rule words: cross and moss and less and glass and buzz and whatever. So you fill the cup with whatever spelling pattern the students are working on. And all they have, and it might be a different cup for each tote bucket for each small group, because they're going to be working at different levels of decoding knowledge. So let's say they're working on floss and they know floss words and they're pretty automatic. You can't do this with patterns unless they're pretty automatic. The game won't work. And why is because what they do is they pull a word from the cup, cross, read it, cross. If you read it quickly and effortlessly like that, cross, without having to go cross, or without going cos, saw, cross. So that doesn't count either. They have to read it quickly and accurately. Then they get to put it on their space on the chart. That's it. And if they don't read it quickly and accurately, then they have to give their card to the person across from them. So you don't want to play this game with words that they don't know very well or automatically. You want them to be 95% able to read the words quickly and accurately. Okay, so be sure that the words you choose are easily readable. You want just enough challenge, just a little bit of challenge, just enough, not too much. So those are some ideas. You probably have other ideas yourself, but I really like those. They seem to work really well. They help them read lots and lots and lots more words, even nonsense words. And yeah, they're just really fun, especially the words in a cup for whatever reason. And the spin. Yeah, they're just fun games. Okay. Now, decodable text. As I've mentioned before, and as you know, if you've been delving into the science of reading, there's no point in doing any of this if we're not going to apply it to text that has these contains the same spelling patterns they're working on. So we used to do phonics. Sure, we'd do word families, but then we wouldn't follow up with reading books with those same word families for the students to practice reading. It never ceases to amaze me. I mean, never. I don't care if I have a beginning student or a student who's been with me for 2 years. It never ceases to amaze me that we could build words with, say, the AI pattern. Then we print words with and then we play games, lots and lots of games with the AI pattern. Then we print words with the AI pattern. Then we write sentences with words that have the AI pattern. And then I hand them a book with the AI pattern and they stop. They have to think about it. So it never ceases to amaze me that it doesn't automatically transfer. So I have to put in a little, page here about how critical and essential it is to read text that contains only the spelling patterns they are currently learning, hopefully have mastered, plus all previously learned patterns. You don't want to, and there are going to be a handful of words, like a couple of words that they will not have, read before. And that just happens with decodable books to try to make them fun and make sense and make a good quality book. So don't worry about the odd word that doesn't. But for the most part, it should be filled with words that they have read. And then there are going to be the wild words. So you could always make, on that note, all of these games can be made using wild words, which for me means words that don't follow typical patterns and rules, right? So that should say was. And so was is just something we want them to learn. So you could do that. But I think that it's much easier to learn was if they understand was, right? If they understand CVC and they understand how the language works 85% of the time, or maybe it's 84 or 86% of the time, English does follow common spelling patterns. So you're going to want to play those games, but the more practice they get with CVC short A words, the easier it's going to be able to remember was, because there's only one part of that word that doesn't make sense, because they do learn that S sometimes makes a Z sound. So what's the only part that doesn't make sense? The A in the middle says and so the more knowledge they have of the 85% of words that are regular, the easier it's going to be for them to know the 15% that aren't regular. And so I'll leave that up to you, but just know that they must read lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots, even more than I thought, decodable text that reflects the spelling patterns they're learning. Okay, so important. Offer as many choices as possible too. Don't just give them Bob books, which are just little, and they're black and white drawings, and they're, you know, like there are a lot of great decodable books out there now. And I suspect very, very, very highly over since the last couple of years, last year in particular, the science of reading has hit a critical mass of awareness. I think we're going to see lots and lots and lots of really good decodable texts. I have my favorites and I put them on this website here. If you go to my Let's Get Reading Right website, remember I talked about that way a couple of days ago. If you go to step 3 resources and click here and you scroll down just a smidge, you will see all of my favorite decodables there. And I switch it up because the more I find and the better ones I find, the more I switch it up and let go of ones that aren't as helpful. But I really, really like the ones that I put there. So that's a good suggestion. You want various illustrations, fiction versus and nonfiction. And also be aware that you don't have to give if you're a special ed teacher, maybe you're taking this course because you're working your student support teacher, working with students who have dyslexia or other oral language difficulties with reading. You may find that you're going to need different kinds of decodable texts because they do have some reading. Usually older kids have some reading abilities. And so I would use books like phonic book readers, which I really love because they're so engaging. And then you've got Decodable has books like that look like chapter books. So there are various, and you could also write, there's the McRooney Foundation has teachers who have written their own decodable texts. So you can go there. There are lots and lots of places to get decodable text. So don't just stick with what you think is like one little, and my favorite at the very beginning is the Nora Gato's little readers. I love those, but even they sometimes don't do the trick. So just be aware there's lots of opportunity. Make sure you're offering lots and lots. And hopefully when all this center business is behind you and everything's working like magic, you can focus on getting more and more quality decodables in your room. And then once children have read at least one decodable to themselves and to another person, either one of their friends or another teacher, then they can choose to read any other book they prefer. And what tends to happen, from my understanding, is that students who need some practice, more practice with decoding skills will likely, students who don't need a lot of decoding practice, they get it, they're reading well, they're picking it up, they just need to learn, okay, AI says A, got it, here are some words, got it, yep, I read my AI book, got it. Okay, those students can go on and they can read whatever book they want. And generally they will choose a trade book. So a good quality children's literature book, or maybe even some of those leveled readers we used to use that to teach beginning readers, which are not effective, but you know what? They're terrific for just learning about different people, places, and things in the world. And they're great free choice books to read. Students, though, who need more practice than others will often go back and choose the book they know will give them more practice because they know decodable texts are working for them. They know that that they're really reading, they're actually reading. I once had a student tell his parent that they needed to buy me a car for Christmas because she taught me how to actually read. So that was really funny and sweet, but they know when they're actually reading and when they're just guessing at a word, especially if you are, you have dyslexia because you don't understand, you know, you've got all those poor reading habits and you don't understand how anyone else figures it out. It takes you a long time. But anyway, they will go back to those decodables and pick more of them to practice. And even if they didn't, that's okay too, for them to just go and pick beautiful quality children's literature and or the leveled reader or whatever, just something that they're enjoying reading. Now, that's not to say that we spend a lot of time doing that, because research has not shown that independent reading is effective, especially for students who have dyslexia or oral language challenges. Reading on their own is not helpful. because it's not giving them the skills they need to be better readers. However, if they've just played a game and they've read some words and they've written some sentences and they've read them to their friends and their peers and their teachers, and maybe they've done some small group work with you, have at it. Go and enjoy books, enjoy reading, enjoy writing, creative write, whatever you want to do. So final notes, here we are, final notes. Isn't that cute, that little Scrabble fun game? So final notes. Make sure they're making up sentences. This is critical because orthographic mapping research tells us that sounds, spellings, and meanings all work together in supporting the storage of words into long-term memory. I've said that so many times. I'm sure you've got it now. Enjoy. Don't forget to enjoy some time walking around and playing the games with your students. They'll love this. Doesn't matter what sometimes those poor kids who just get everything really, really quickly, they don't get your attention because you're so busy always trying to help those kids who are struggling. Those kids who aren't struggling aren't getting any of your attention, as much of your attention. Go and play a game with them. Try to take them up a notch with their vocabulary or sentence structure, sentence making, right? Adding adjectives to their sentences, adding linking words to their sentences. I always like carrying this around with a bunch of paper clips. Wait, where did it go? There they are. I always carry my linking words around with me, and then students know, right, that these are linking words so that they can start to make more complex sentences. So those students need our attention too. And sometimes students just need a connection. They may be anxious or shy or defiant or whatever they are. They just need us to have fun with them. Be silly, make up silly, goofy sentences. So just don't worry. Sometimes, not don't worry, but sometimes you just want to sit down and play. And smile often. Sometimes, and believe me, if anyone knows how frustrating it can be when a student just isn't really picking up what you're laying down, it can be really, really frustrating. So sometimes you got to go smile. It eases the tension. It reduces their stress and their brain works better, right? When we get stressed, our inner ear, it's my understanding that the inner ear actually closes up. And you can't hear clearly and you can't process very well because you're stressed. So that's why we're playing games. That's why we're working with each other in groups of 2 or 3 or 4. That's why you're going to stop and play games with them too, so that we reduce stress, reduce your stress, reduce their stress. Let's reduce lots of stress. So smile often. It's the best encouragement you can give them. Take time with your routines. Take time with those. I do, you do, or sorry, we do, you do. So I do it, you role model. Then you do it together with the students. Then they'll be able to do it independently. And give yourself a pat on the back. You did it. You've put in lots of hard work and effort, and we are complete. Oh, wait, we have to make our games. Okay, so crazy card games. You will download, I've included 5 games that will be attached to this course, and they will be crazy cards for starters. These are not available ready-made like the rest of the games that I have. We have 15 different decks. There are 20 decks altogether of crazy cards. This is the short, crazy shorts. It's short E, so you can see it's got ed, et, el, et, and words with more than 1 syllable. So short, crazy shorts has a set of 5, short A, short E, short I, short O, short U. Crazy longs is just what you probably think it is: long vowels, long spellings of A, long vowel E, long I, long O, and long U spellings. So that's 10 decks. And then we have another 5 decks called Crazy Mores, which is all your other spelling patterns, like all the ways to spell ooh, all the ways to spell all the ways to spell, not all the ways, but most of the ways to spell ow, oi, ing, chur, shun. So that's the third set. So that's 5, 10, 15 decks of cards. And then the set that you're going to get with this course is called Crazy Cards for Starters because it's perfect for grade 1 because it's there's a deck for CVC. Oh, by the way, the Crazy Shorts, Longs, and Mores are available ready-made. No printing, no nothing. They come in their own little card packet, own little card box. So all students have to do is grab a game and go. And there's 63 cards per deck. And there are wild cards and miss your turn cards. And it's played just like Crazy Eights or Uno, only with words. So the instructions will be there for you as well. Now, what you'll get with this game is not ready-made because I don't have them ready-made, but you will have to print on cardstock. You can print double-sided and they'll just come right out, cut them up, laminate or not, and then put them in a little elastic. So you'll have the CVC, digraphs, a deck for floss words, a deck for CK words, and all of these are going to be dealing with short vowel sounds. So there's where you can order more if you want the other decks of cards, which I highly recommend because the kids will love Crazy Card Day on Fridays. And also if you're in Canada, just make sure you order from that website because it's different. Okay. That's it. I just want to say congratulations. You are all set to begin a wonderful journey with your students. I wish you a well-organized and productive year filled with joy, laughter, and learning. It was nice to work with you. If you find this useful, please pass it along to any first grade, grade 1 teachers that you know of. And if you have any questions about anything, I'm always available at Sound Readers. On Facebook or Twitter, or you can go to soundreaders.com and reach me there. Have a good year, a productive year. Thank you.